I was surprised at how quickly we fucked it up.
Yeah, I think we screwed it up like so many times.
Oh
We
my
were
God.
like super disappointed in ourselves. Like, wow,
I
like
know.
how
I
did
was
we
like, my
do that?
God, I'm just so disappointed. Like, seriously, what kind of fan
Like,
do you think you are?
right, exactly. Like I expected way more of myself, but I really do wonder how much of a conversation we could carry on in just
Just using
movie.
movie quotes? Oh, dude. Well, we have a lot of. Okay, we can share it. By the way, we've gone live. We have a lot of movie quotes. I think that like movies that we could pull from, but I think the problem for us would come in like the pressure, right? Because like I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that like if you and
exactly.
I are just sitting here babbling, we could just talk in movie quotes for like an hour. But the second we're
Yeah,
performing for somebody or like have to like think about it, suddenly it's like I've never seen a movie.
yeah. It's like I've never seen any movies.
I don't
Yeah,
even know what a movie is. What's a movie?
what is a movie?
Who are you?
So
Oh
I
my
got this
God,
new.
Elisa and her sister speak in West Wing quotes, dude. I freaking
Oh,
love the West Wing.
I love the West Wing.
One of my best ones with him is what's is like I took the what's next, like let's move on. Like when I'm done, I say what's next, and then you just move on, and it's like yes, that's how it should be. All right,
Um,
I'm sharing this. We're Saira and I
so
are sharing this all over the place. Go ahead, sis.
I'm not sharing. I'm just talking.
Okay.
So I got this new brand of jewelry I'm carrying in the shop, and Avery pointed out yesterday that the rings that I got match my tattoos.
Oh my God,
See,
how cool!
we got to look at the screen.
Well, give me a sec. I'm just thinking it's cool that it
As I
happened.
sit here,
I'm just saying it's cool and how it's impacting.
Vanessa has the tropical fish and its mate hairdo today.
I so
From
do. Oh, I so good. It's a tropical fish and his mate.
if you haven't seen Jumping Jack Flash, I highly recommend you do. See, look,
Okay,
my
let's see.
rings.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
for
they so
God's
do.
sake!
No, I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at the wrong camera.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So this
yeah. So
here,
there's
so
like
my
sun
computer
and
is
moon.
here. The camera's here. So I have to look here to see you.
Oh, I'm like, we gotta stop that.
Well, because I'm looking at the ocean. What the hell? What good is it for me to live by the ocean if I can't look at it? So I'm trying to like workshop it so that everything's in the right place. So
It's
that
not right now. Right now, this is very disturbing.
well, here we go. Now
So,
it's fine, right? I can just look to the side, look up here. There we go. Now show me your hands. You keep moving them.
oh, here you go. So I've got the moon and the star,
Oh wow, that's cute.
and then a sun.
Dawn loves Jumping Jack Flash, dude. I
Oh
sent
my God,
Sarah
that movie is the best.
the other day. I was like, I don't know what happened, but somebody was saying something. Oh, I was saying something, and I wasn't really saying it properly. I was just like, rah, rah, rah. And then I was thinking of, he says, I was born in a
Yeah, Crossfire Hurricane.
I was raised by
So
two lesbians.
she's so funny story. Avery and Eliza absolutely love the movie Cruella,
Yeah.
and it's got a great soundtrack. Well, Rolling Stones is on
Is
there.
that the follow? No, Cruella. Okay, yeah. That's the movie with Emma Stone, right?
Yeah, she does a fantastic job. So it's they have the soundtrack is like all like Blondie and like I can't remember the other one, but the Rolling Stones, like all kinds of stuff that we used to listen to like way back when. And so in the car yesterday on the way to the bank with that debacle, Avery takes my phone and she puts on the freaking Rolling Stones. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there and for some reason it didn't display on my screen. And I go, Avery, are you listening to the Rolling Stones? And she's like, oh, Supertramp was on there. And she just loves it. I'm like, wow. I'm
Mom,
like,
have you
God
heard
bless
this cool new
Cruella.
band, the Rolling Stones?
I know. I'm like, really?
Good
New
morning,
band?
good
Well,
morning. Huh?
they love Robert Palmer.
Oh,
I
Robert
mean, sorry,
Palmer's amazing.
Robert Plant. They love Robert Plant.
Robert Plant,
Who's
Led
sang-
Zeppelin.
No. Sorry. So Robert Palmer. It is
Addicted to
Palmer.
Love.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
But
that's
they
Robert
listen to
Palmer.
the
Robert
old
Plant
stuff,
was the
like,
one who sang "In the Mood, in the Mood, in the Mood."
oh, so they love
Hi, Dee Dee.
the old Robert Palmer stuff, like before he was famous with Addicted to Love, like all the stuff before that. Butch plays it all the time. They're like in the back, they're singing it.
That's
They love
amazing.
Jamiroquai. I'm like, how do you guys even hear about these bands? Like Jamiroquai? Like really?
Oh, dude. Well, so our group of friends, we always have a music voting bracket going. So there's a group
Yes, I
of
remember
us,
you talking about that.
and sometimes, so like not everybody is involved. Like we're all in a Slack chat. So like right now it's just a group of us, and we basically all put in so we at the end of every year we do like best songs of 2021. Everybody votes, and then we pick like the best song. So right now we're doing the 80s, and so I made a conscious choice to like not pick any songs. Like I didn't pick the best songs by certain bands. I picked the songs that I thought would highlight a band that people have heard of, but like don't know them. So like for Aha, I picked Living a Boy's Adventure Tale, not Take on Me, right? And so I put on, last night I listened to Missing Persons, Destination Unknown.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, like I freaking love this song. I listened to Universal
Oh,
Daddy.
that- oh yeah, that video is bad.
Oh my God, the video for Universal Daddy is like, guys, if you have not seen this video, it's for Alphaville, Universal Daddy. It is quite literally the worst video you have ever. I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if I can watch
put this out. It's bad, but it's such a great
There's like
song.
a rainbow in the background that looks like it came off of one of those kids' rulers, you know, the little like
Yeah,
holographic rulers that's like sitting in the background.
What a song. Like, what a great song.
Is so good. The song is spectacular. Like,
I mean, like when you listen to Alan Parsons and you listen to like The Traveler or Don't Answer Me, like, oh my God, such great songs.
Such good songs. Such good songs.
All right, but let's get back on topic. So I actually feel like today's topic is so perfect because I woke up this morning and I felt like, so first of all, I overslept. So I'm the one responsible for waking Butchie up in the morning for school. Butch takes him to school, which to me seems perfectly fair because I don't want to leave the house and I'd rather get up and just get him out of bed and then crawl back in next to Avery and the dogs and get all warm and snuggly. So this morning, for some reason, the alarm didn't go off. Go figure. And it's 7:42 when I wake up. And now I'm supposed to wake this boy up at 6:30.
Oh my
so now
God.
I'm like, oh my God. And by the way, when you have children, who are school aged, remember that feeling when you were late for class, or
I
that
was
never
just
goes
getting it,
away.
and I'm actually doing my breathing right now to like bring it down because I could feel it, and I was like, I need to breathe to like bring myself down from this experience that I'm having right now. So yes, I know what you mean.
Right, living vicariously through my poor child. So I run into his room, and I'm really conscious in the mornings about not stressing him out because, like, I've been like thinking a lot about how it is for me if somebody starts my day off, get out of bed right now, you gotta get to school. Like, it's just so like unsettling and like it's such a bad tone for the whole day. Right?
Absolutely. I really love that. That's such a great takeaway.
It's super hard for me because like I'm in a rush and I want him to get to school on time, but I'm like, I try really hard. Like, he's a big hugger, so I was trying to give him a hug in the morning, like, you know, really try to get him to wake up slowly as opposed to like, get the fuck out of bed.
Right.
So I felt so bad.
Butch takes him to school. What time do they leave for school?
7:30. So he gets an hour.
So he's already late. Like, it's already past the time.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I'm like, I'm not good. So I go in and I go, Butchie, I overslept. I'm so sorry. I'm like, you have to get up. I'm like, it's already 7:45. He's like, what? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm up. I'm like, okay. 10 minutes later, I go back in. He's passed out again. I'm like, Butchie, you got to get up. Mommy overslept. You got to get to school. So the morning started off like awful because I felt so guilty that the poor kid was late. And his first comment to me was like, Mom, what's the point of even going to school now? I'm like, nice try, kid. You're only like an hour late. You still have 7 hours of school.
Dude, so Emily and I were talking the other day and she was saying how sometimes like she'll wake up and like if she has something to do with like at 6 a.m. and she'll look at her calendar and it'll be like, oh, I have something at 11. And it's like, I have something at 11. That means I can't do anything between now and then because I got to be ready for when it is 11. And I'm like, exactly. We both have that. And I felt that the other day where I was like, I have something at 1. I can't do anything at all because I have to be ready for this thing at 1. I'm like, it's 6 a.m.
But I think
wait, hold on, Saira, wait, I gotta tell you, Dawn says as a teenager she used to blast Benny Goodman and all the music from that era to like wake up. And for her 16th birthday, she asked for a compilation from Time Life music. And she's like, does anybody remember that? And the answer is yes. I totally remember that. I remember the commercial in my head. Like,
oh my gosh.
Did you do that to stay awake? So how do you get him to stay awake? Because Dad used to do the washcloth on our face. And Dawn used to blast Benny and the Jets. Benny Goodman. I said Benny and the Jets.
I'm really lucky. Butchie, 9 times out of 10, is very good about waking up. Like, he will get up. He gets to school. Well, he's really motivated by socialization. And so for him, he likes school because he gets to socialize with his friends.
I was always, when I loved going to school, was when I had a social network to go in.
Yeah. So it's not very hard to get him motivated. He gets up in the morning. I, however, have a problem. But anyway, so I was saying that, like, so this morning, and then I knew I had this call. So it's like now it's 7:45 and I can't get ready until he's done in the bathroom because one of our bathrooms is under renovation. So it's like, I couldn't get out of bed. And it's like, I was reading about fibromyalgia yesterday and it's actually kind of funny because we left this topic last week. So it's kind of like perfect.
It's good that we're coming back to it this week.
But like, there's tired, like I've been tired, right? Like I have 3 children. I've been through like, you know, delivering 3 babies, like staying up all night, partying all night, working at nightclubs, working night shifts. Like, I mean, I know what it's like to be tired. This is like some other level of like Jumanji tired. Like especially in winter, like, have you been noticing? Like, I feel like as soon as the first major snow happens and like the world figures out that it's winter, my whole body is basically like a bear and is like, it's time to stuff your face, eat everything in sight, and go to bed.
Oh my God, dude. Absolutely. So there's two things, because Saira and I were like talking about what we wanted to talk about today, because we want to talk about things that are not related to work, because the two of us are just obsessed with business and all we ever talk about is business, and we really don't want to, we want to like different things, and we do enjoy other things. We just get caught up in the momentum, right? So we're talking about like, what are we going to talk about? And what's interesting is that, like, I know that a bunch of you guys have seasonal affective disorder, right? Or and like depression in the winters. But like one of the things that like Saira is now dealing with, and that's why I wanted to touch on this, is the fibro thing, because, Saira, you've been a hypochondriac since we were kids. I mean, you still are technically a recovering hypochondriac, as I call you, right? And I think that, when you have fibromyalgia, that's so much worse, because it's like, if you don't know that you have fibro, and fibro has 8 million different symptoms, right? Then it's like, and you don't take them as part of like a package. You're like, oh, this is one package that is causing this. Then suddenly it's cancer. It's my eyes about to fall out. It's like, I'm so fatigued that I must have something like lupus or Lyme disease or something like that. It's like 8 million different other, things. And I, for me, so like the fibromyalgia symptoms, they change. So like the fatigue that you're talking about, I call it like the fatigue that comes from like inside your bones. It doesn't feel like, oh, I didn't sleep, so I'm tired. It feels like from inside your body, there is this weight that is like just pulling you down. So you're like dragging it along with you. But like,
someone said it's kind of like having the flu all the time.
Okay. Someone says my mic isn't working. It sounds like my mic isn't working.
No, I hear you fine.
You hear me fine? Okay, Sarah, can you hear Saira fine? Dawn Johnson says her mom takes tart cherry for her fibro. I don't even know what that is, but it looks like a chapstick.
A chapstick?
That looks like a chapstick. So Cindy says she's so exhausted that it hurts. Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so Saira said when we first got on that she hadn't been outside yet. Saira, Dawn, and Katie, and Jenna all swear by happy lamps. They think that those things, they're called happy lamps. They're like daylight lamps. And I mean, your room has that setting.
Oh, tart cherry is a potent adaptogen. Oh, okay. So there's actually a lot of studies going on right now about adaptogens and their like effects on all sorts of health problems, including cancer, autoimmune disorders, all kinds of stuff. Adaptogens are like a big thing.
Ashley just said, I literally describe it as everything hurts and I'm dying. Oh my God. I found like the best, I need to share it in here. I found the best meme that talked about the pain scale, the stupid pain scale at the doctors. It's like, what's your pain scale? Oh my God. And you're like, I'm sorry. Is this a joke? But it's a better pain scale. And it's like, it's divided into two. So it's like your 1 to 10s, right? And then it's like your 10 to like 28. And it's like 9. This is my regular level of pain. So I'll say I'm feeling fine. And then like 13 is like, now I'm telling you that I hurt a little. And then there's like 22 where it's like 28 is like, please take me to the ER because I'm not even able to speak to you right now. And it's like the chronic pain scale versus like the actual pain scale.
Well, and Butch and I were talking about this because he broke his neck that one time when in the race car when he caught fire and everything else. And he even said, he's like, the pain that I'm in all the time, he's like, it's such a, because he was at the doctor's office and this came up and he was like, people don't realize that when you have chronic pain, you just deal with it. And so that pain scale, when they're like, how much pain are you in? He's like, your level of daily agony is like, 10, but you just learn to live with it because what else, what's the other option, So
that's why I think the pain scale is like, I actually think it's really stupid. I understand why it's there. But I don't think it's relevant for people with chronic illness, and I think they need a different way of talking about it.
The question should really be, like when you first go in, is for a physician to ask you that, like, do you struggle with chronic pain? Because then it's like a different set of questions to ask someone versus what's your pain on the pain scale? It's like, I feel like it's a totally different type of conversation if you're dealing with someone who's always in pain.
You know what?
By the way, you have a mark on your wall that is super distracting.
Oh, okay, so this isn't a mark. It's actually a screw. I'm working on sorting this out right now. It's just like, this whole area, I hate it. But here, let me show you the area that I like. So, that'll tell you why I'm in here. So this is the area I like.
Oh, the puppy.
See this thing that I'm looking at out there? That's why. I mean, I can just have it facing in that direction. It's certainly much prettier. But
okay.
This is basically what you're seeing is like, this was originally supposed to be something else. It was like a book.
You know what you need? You need a picture of an ocean behind you so that we can look at the ocean and you can look at the ocean. And we're all looking at the ocean.
I was going to put a mirror behind me, but then
I don't think that'll work just because of
then I'll incept. Elisa said that her tinnitus is like that. Is it loud? Yes, every day, but I managed to forget about it and deal with it. Exactly. Like you just forget about it and deal with it. And I don't feel like the way the doctors have the conversations with us are effective because they're based off of like the typical framework, your neurotypical able-bodied kind of space of framework. But Saira,
that's why osteopaths and naturopaths are so amazing because they really are all about like whole body care. And it's not just about like symptom management. They're all about figuring out like, because for them, it's a puzzle that they want to figure out. And I love their approach to healthcare. As like my PCP is not like just like a regular MD, he's an osteopath, and I freaking love him. Like he's amazing.
That's what I'm doing right now. So like I've actually given up on like after my last doctor's visit, I literally came home and I said, I'm done. I give up. Yeah. And I know that everybody who's listening right now understands that feeling where it's like you want to be an advocate for your own healthcare, but like you go through these phases where you're just like, I can't right now. I just don't have the emotional stamina. I'm exhausted, right? And like you build up your reserves to like go in again. And so my next phase of going in again, I'm letting Kira out, is going to be a naturopath because I'm tired. I am tired of going to the doctors and then having to like figure it out on my own. And like one of my problems right now is that fibro symptoms change over time. By the way, Cindy said when the doctor said she thought she had fibro, she thought that everybody hurt like this. And that's so...
Oh, wow.
Well, I thought
that's
everybody
so
had
true.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Imagine my shock when I discovered that everybody doesn't have anxiety. I was like, I'm sorry.
I know, right? It's like, wait a minute, what?
I asked Alex how he goes to sleep all the time. And he said, I lay down and I get sleepy. And I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
Butch and I were talking about this just the other day because he's having a hard time sleeping too. And we were discussing this and he goes, I wish I could be like those people who just say, oh, you know what? It's bedtime. And whether you're tired or not, you go, you lay down, you pull out a magazine or a book, you turn the lights down, you read, and then you go, okay, I'm done. You put your book down, you turn over and you fall asleep. He's like, who does that?
I know.
Who are these people?
Oh my God, he's like, kill myself.
He's like, this is some kind of like, voodoo magic.
So we're catching up here. There's lots of questions here. Oh my God, Jessica Hopkins PCP retired after 22 years. Oh dude, that blows. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. So Elisa thought that the modern world just had a constant electronic sound until I found out that I have tinnitus. And that's when I realized that I had something going on. Like, how crazy is that? Sarah's husband is literally asleep in 5 seconds. I don't understand that. I mean,
I don't understand.
What is wrong with your husband? What is wrong with him?
What is wrong with us?
Wrong with my husband? Katie sees a naturopath. She said when she saw her PCP at 40 with some issues, she said, just wait till 50.
That's not encouraging.
I'm like, thank you. I appreciate your help so much. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for that. Thanks a lot for those words of encouragement. Actually,
and
I will say
it looks like you're constantly looking at your phone.
It's because I had a message from somebody had to check. It's in my 30s. Mm-hmm. And that's when he suggested to me to try the intermittent fasting at night. And it was life-changing for me, like to just not eat after 9.
Like, I'm actually thinking about it. My only problem is like I need to eat first thing in the morning because like my new fibro symptom is I'm so nauseous. That's why I thought I was pregnant. Because I wake up, I get out of bed, I'm walking around, and I literally have to run to the bathroom. And I don't actually have anything in my stomach, so I don't actually throw up, and then I heave, and then I'm fine.
But what time do you go to bed?
9.
So really the point is to stop eating a few hours before you go to bed because you don't want to eat and then go to sleep because then your body is filled with, it's digesting all night.
Right.
So I go to bed at 1 and I stop eating at 9. So my body's not eating for several hours before I clock out for the evening. And then so for you'd basically, your last item for your last meal would be dinner. So you should eat your dinner and then no more food.
Got it. So like 5 or 6. So that's gonna be something we need to work on because I'm a late night snacker. Like snack. That is bad. No, I get that. I hear that. Like I'm not saying I'm a late night snacker, so this is just how I am. I'm not a grasshopper. Right. But I'm saying that's the challenge I'm gonna need to overcome.
Oh, me too.
Is that because like snack. Well, it's like I feel like you know what it is. I eat a really healthy breakfast. I eat a good lunch. Oh, by the way, I've been eating your salad lunches. It's been working great. So like I've been eating salads. Right? Yeah, I've been eating salads for lunch, and it's made such a difference. If you guys missed our podcast from like I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about ways to like eat lunch, during the day and not forget to eat. Like that is like so important. But that's been helping the eating. But then in the evening, like I want, like it's like okay, well now I'm gonna like this is my time to have fun. But the truth is that like I'm obsessed with sugar, and you have to stop sending me those ribbons. Like I know that I tell you I want them, but you have to stop sending them because I eat them all. Those Sour Patch ribbons that are so fucking good. And,
so good.
And they're like, it's too much sugar. I can't have too much sugar in my life.
So for me, one of the things is like if you do intermittent fasting, like for me, what I do is I don't deprive myself of anything. If I want to have like flan, if I want to have ice cream, if I want to have nuts, whatever it is I want to have, I don't deprive myself at all. It's a window of eating. And I tend to do exactly what you do, right? Like I love to eat late at night. I love to snack. That's when I have I'm watching my shows, I'm unwinding, I'm enjoying myself. So what I do though, is I just push everything back, right? And as a result, I eat less because I'm not eating all into the night, but I also sleep better. And the reason I've been feeling like shit the last 2 weeks now that I'm really thinking about it is because it's been Christmas and New Year's and I haven't been sticking to my fasting. And I can definitely feel the change. Like I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. And you're hungry more. But when you train yourself, you actually just stop wanting it because you feel so good when you wake up in the morning. And then for you could eat when you get up because like you're supposed to go you can go anywhere from 10 to 16 hours. I know people that do 16 hours. I can't do that. Yeah. Like for me, my max is like 11. But it does help.
You drink water, you said, right?
Oh yeah. You can drink as much water as you want. You can drink black tea. And you can drink black coffee. So you just can't because basically you just can't have anything that has sugar in it or any kind of calorie count. So like usually black coffee, black tea, and plain water are fine.
I also want to reiterate what Katie just said. This is super important. Is that Saira and I do not have a history of any sort of eating disorders or any sort of bad pathological or difficult relationships with food, other than the comfort aspect of it. And so when we talk about this, it's safe and healthy for us to talk about it. But if you're someone who has struggled with any sort of eating disorders in the past or any sort of body dysmorphic issues, I recommend seeing a doctor or your therapist before thinking that this is a good option for you, because then it becomes really easy to be like, oh, look, this is a great option for me to get healthier. But really you're just using that as a like a back door into, bad habits. So just something to keep in mind. I'm glad Katie brought that up because, we all have our own things going on. Yeah, absolutely. We all have our own things. And so it's always good. So definitely bring those things up if you notice it. Thank you so much. I've heard it said as dinner. Lisa said I'm a dinner and done because she's a sucker for alliteration. Me too, dude. Alliteration is my jam.
Yeah, me too.
Sarah's problem is that she fasts for 16 to 20 hours, but then she tends to binge for the other 4 to 6 hours. She likes doing what Katie does and just listen to her body. I think, that's an area where I think I need to be more mindful. Like I notice the difference when I don't meditate. So I didn't meditate today and I can feel the difference, like in who I am and how I feel, how I show up. Same thing, I guess, with like the eating, right? So I'm thinking of changing my breakfast to oatmeal.
Oh, see, I was doing oatmeal I'm out of it.
Steel cut oats.
Here's the thing about the intermittent fasting. I wanted to say like 16 to 20 hours of fasting. I think anybody would binge eat, right? Like unless you're super duper disciplined, because that's a really long time. What my osteopath said to me is he was like, just find what works for you. The idea isn't to deprive yourself. The idea is to discipline yourself to not graze constantly so that your body is in a constant expectation of food mode, because that affects your insulin levels all day. It affects your metabolism. Yeah. It affects your sleep. It affects your energy. He says, so that's why if you just try to stop eating after dinner, he said, give yourself like one dessert after dinner. He said, but try to stop 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. And then don't eat for 2 to 3 hours after you wake up. You'll give yourself that 10 to 12 hour window where your body can kind of reset and then eat. Then you're going to be more motivated to make healthy choices. He's like, even if you want to eat sweets or whatever, he's like, set yourself a goal every day to eat one healthy thing. Maybe it's one vegetable, it's one fruit, it's one protein. And so it's
Cindy, yes. Cindy and I want ice cream during our eating time.
Yeah, I actually have given up ice cream. The only time I eat ice cream in a while,
but I hear you. Wait, but we're going back into food again. We need to pull back because the food conversation happened because we're talking about getting.
But the food helps, I think, with the fibromyalgia, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I feel like so I think that a lot of times we make decisions because it feeds our emotional well-being and we don't realize that it's affecting our physical well-being. And then, like, for example, I stopped walking for the longest time because I fell and I had that horrible accident. My legs were really messed up. And then I just kept making excuses not to walk because I was afraid of going back outside again, because that really hurt. Like the guy was like, you almost broke your knees. He's like, you're lucky that you were like this close. And I got scared to go out again because I'm like, who trips over their own 2 feet?
I remember that. You were like, oh my God. And I'm like, by the way, Saira, I trip over my own 2 feet. That's also a symptom. Like, so, you know.
Well, note to self, don't multitask if you suffer from fibromyalgia.
There is no such thing as multitasking. So don't, because you can't.
Don't poorly rapidly toggle between tasks if you have fibromyalgia. Okay, whatever. But I think that a lot of times I make choices like smoking, right? When I used to smoke, we make choices that make us feel better emotionally, but they're like crippling us physically. And I think in your case, part of that is eating late. And it's like for me too, like eating ice cream or having too much sugar, all of those things, like they exacerbate your symptoms and make you feel even worse, even though emotionally you feel better in the moment.
Oh yeah, no, but that's only like an instant. You pay the price. There's a price on the flip side of that. But you know what? But the thing is, you're willing to pay that price. And I think like a lot of us, and because we're so used and familiar with the price, it's a more acceptable or palatable price than the price that you pay if, say, you don't eat, because now the price you're paying is I'm hungry, and you're like, I don't want to pay this price, right? Either way, you're paying something. But like if you don't eat, then you're if you're taking care of yourself and eating mindfully. And I think I actually listened to a really great training with the South Shore Women's Network, and it was about mindful eating. And that's what I'm really hearing is that it's important to just be mindful, because when you're talking, and I'm actually thinking about the pain issues and the cold and the winter making it so much harder for me to like do anything or feel motivated or even actually give a shit.
Who wants
like,
to do anything? No one.
So what I'm trying to do though, like even what you're saying is like resonating with me, because I started doing the art stuff, and last night I was so tired. I was really disappointed that I put off the art all day because I was working and I was doing this and I was always doing something. And I just didn't get around to doing the art. And then the nighttime came and I was exhausted, and then I just didn't do any of it. And I started watching the video, and I was so excited to do these watercolor things for Katie for my email. And I was going to send it to her and so excited, but I was so tired. I just was like, and I started crying because I was so tired. And I was like, I really want to do this. But it made me realize that like, I started to think about my day and think about what I did. And I realized that one, I was not mindful in my day. I was just doing the things that were there and kind of just operating on autopilot. And I hadn't been feeling, Amy Lee even commented on it. So like I realized that the art makes me feel happy. And the food makes me feel happy, right? So when I couldn't have the art, what did I do? I got up and I ate popcorn, and I binged popcorn, and I didn't realize until just now how those things kind of came together. And I can see how the art is a healthy way to fulfill that emotional void that I'm trying to fill with food. And when I couldn't have it, I went and immediately went for my crutch, right? So I think that being mindful is really critical, especially right now in the cold, because some things are going to come because of the cold. Some things are going to come because you're sick. And then some things are going to happen because we're just not paying attention or doing the things that we know. Like, I call it my non-negotiables. The non-negotiables are things that if I don't do them, I'm going to feel bad. So if I'm feeling bad, chances are I'm not doing one of those things. I always forget about them, but that's sort of how I tend to do it.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. I definitely think like I'm trying to be more patient with myself when I get to those places of like, I'm just too tired and I can't do it. So just saying, oh, well, and just listening to my body, kind of like what Saira was saying, and just being okay with the fact that I'm not my 20-year-old self, right? Like, even though in my mind, maybe I'm 20, I'm not.
I'm curious, how old are you guys in your mind? I want to know how old do you really think you are in your mind, like right at this moment? And then like on your day-to-day when you're walking around, you think you're about 20?
Yeah. I think I'm like 22, 23. Like, I feel like that's kind of where I feel like that's where I'm at. But physically, I feel 95.
I think I think of my brain as ageless and eternal. So in my mind, I'm just like, you look at me and I'm ageless. You don't know how old I am. I could
I'm really close to my mother-in-law. Like Carol and I, like Butch's mom and I are really, really, really close. And she's 80. She'll be 81 this year. Mom would have been 70, Vanessa.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, Dad's 70, so that makes sense.
I know, but Dad's been alive this whole time. And so like, it's different. But Aman and I were talking about that. We were saying how if Mom was alive, he was like, I feel like Mom's essence would be the same. He said, but she would be so different. He's like, can you imagine if she had lived to 70, how different she would be?
Oh my God, totally.
And I was like, wow, I hadn't really thought of that. But
I hadn't either. I'm going to need a day to cry on this one.
Yeah. Carol and I are super tight, and she's almost 81. And she says to me all the time, she's like, Saira, honestly, in my mind, she's like, since I hit 45, she's like, 45 was my favorite age. She's like, because at 45, I felt like My children were older. I had a stable, happy marriage. I had a profession. I knew my income, where it was coming from. She's like, I felt confident and comfortable in who I was and where I was in my life. And she's like, so now when I think about myself, she's like, I look in the mirror and to myself, I'm 45. I cannot even stomach the fact that I'm 81 years old almost. She's like, I don't know where the time went. And I certainly don't feel like that's how old I am. So I think it's a chronic, like maybe the ego and the id type thing where we get stuck in an age because we can't contemplate our own.
Well, so I want to disagree a little bit with that, just because, like, I want to be clear about where I was coming from on this. So when I say I feel ageless and my body feels 95 or whatever, I'm thrilled with growing older. So, like, the aspect of it that you're talking about, where you're like, I'm shocked that I'm this old, I'm never shocked. Like, that's just how I feel. Like, I feel ageless and eternal as my soul and my spirit, and my body feels.
She feels
95.
She feels like. That's what I'm saying, though, is that in her mind, she's ageless.
Right, but like the way that you phrased it made it sound like aging is a bad. Where did the time go? Like it's a bad thing.
No,
I don't feel that way at all. I feel like, oh my God, think of how I'm 44. All the things that I've done. How much have I accomplished? Like it's such a different way of like, look at where did the time go? That's so like sadness looking back versus looking.
No, I don't think she's sad about it.
I think that's how it sounded to me, and I wanted to put that other frame on it.
I think it surprises her because she is ageless to herself. And so like, I think for her, it's this, and I think that, like, I had the same thing, right? Like when I look in the mirror, my skin still doesn't have wrinkles. Like I'm still pretty young looking. And I thought to myself the other day, I was like, I wonder how I'll feel when I look in the mirror one day and I see my age on the surface. Because like, even though I feel my age, like when I walk around and like, obviously because of all the other underlying health conditions, like I probably feel it a little bit more. I don't really notice it physically.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what that moment will be like when I face my age and realize that agelessness that I feel internally is not reflected externally, right? Like that, maybe that's what people talk about when they say midlife crisis, right? It's like when your internal self meets the external self and there's like this disconnect.
So I actually think a midlife crisis is something else. Alex and I were talking about this the other day. I actually think a midlife crisis is what we used to call people who finally realized that they were sick of living for other people and were ready to live for themselves. And I think that a midlife crisis is a term that we used to make people feel bad about themselves for doing that because we weren't ready to do that. And for me, I feel like I will always be ageless.
It's like an awakening.
Huh? It's like an awakening. I don't care if my body's 97 years old for real and my wrinkles are everywhere. I am still ageless because my soul,
Betty White.
My soul just continues to grow and evolve and change. And I think what Katie said is the best, right? Katie said mid-40s is the best. I'm content, empowered, smart, healthy. Life is good. 50 is going to be amazing. This is why I love Katie. This is why I love Katie, right?
Yeah.
I think that I'm starting to notice that my skin feels like Shella Puppy, right? Like it's more like Shella Puppy skin, and that's definitely an age difference, right? Because like my skin is aging. Still feels good. It just feels different, and I feel like, oh look, this is something new to experience, right? This is something else. I feel like what you're saying is actually really smart, in that I want to be more mindful about watching my aging because I don't want to be surprised by the way I look because I want to enjoy the process. Like, I really want to enjoy we're going to all age, right? So the only thing we have a choice about is how we're going to approach that. Are you going to approach it one way or the other? And I'm really...
Well, I can tell you, after seeing Kristen Davis on the ads for Sex and the City, I feel so bad. She was such a beautiful, and she's had so much plastic surgery. And I thought to myself, I was like, I hope I have the presence of mind to let my vanity age along with my appearance in the mirror, right? That my perception of vanity will age along with my physical presence and my physical, as opposed to trying to cling on to, I want to reverse the clock, right? So I'm hoping that I can, because it's hard. It's hard to, especially if you're a person like me who's very vain.
Yeah.
Like those are things that matter to me, right? I hope that I have the presence of mind to not get sucked into that, because like there's no take back seats with that. Like, it's like,
there isn't, and and that's the thing is like, a lot of the celebrities are getting their stuff taken out because like they don't like the way that it looks like that look is no longer like, looks come and go, right? So like, and you can change your makeup if you've decided that fluorescent and neon makeup is not like their jam right now. But I got news for you. Plastic surgery is hard to undo, right? Though, I think, okay, so, oh my God, Jessica, I've been reading about the new Sex in the City. I can't even with it. Like every single aspect of it is nauseating to me. Like up and like all about the representation is nauseating. Like it is so, the bisexual stereotypes that they are, and non-binary like stereotypes that they are perpetuating is just appalling. Like I get it. It's fine. Have fun. And I'm not judging, by the way. Anybody who loves it, please enjoy it. Do not feel like I'm judging you for enjoying it. I personally just don't. It's that Irish Spring, dude. I wash my face with Irish Spring and Cyrus.
Oh, I can't hear this.
She can't handle. Can we talk about Faith Hill and how gorgeous she is? Are we talking about how gorgeous Faith Hill is?
Faith Hill is beautiful. You know who else? I mean, there are so many of these celebrities who actually like have aged so beautifully. Like you look at Meryl Streep and Glenn Close. I mean, they're so just timeless.
Oh yeah. No? Mark Harmon?
Oh, Mark Harmon.
I'll be in my bunk.
Still my beating heart.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's dreamy.
I don't think it's worth it, Sarah. I haven't seen it. I've only read it, but what I've read about it, I think you could read the synopsis of each episode and get what you need. Like that's what I do. I've just been reading the synopsis. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening. Is Faith Hill naturally aging, or does she look that good because she's famous or she had weird work done? I don't know. I know. No, dude. I know men who. Okay. I'm just gonna. Sarah Swanson said every man ages amazing. I'm just gonna come right out and say Keith Richards. You know who aged really well? Sam Elliott. Be still. Oh my God, that man is so handsome. I might actually start watching Yellowstone 1883 just because he's in it, because I love him. Did you see the picture of the Golden Girls and the Sex and the City gals being the same age? Oh my God, I know that's... Speaking of... Okay, I want to actually bounce back to the beginning. I know this is going to be such a weird loop back, but I really want to come back to it. We were talking about being sick earlier and the doctors being weird. I wanted to call out the Golden Girls episode again because that episode was like... If I had not seen that episode when I was younger, I would not be able to do what I'm doing right now in terms of with the doctors because of how much Dorothy suffered. Like, I feel like I was like, oh my God, Dorothy and I went through the same thing. When I went to see a therapist in college and they dismissed me, I remember thinking to myself, it's okay, Dorothy went through the same thing. It was like... Yeah,
totally.
Sam Elliott is dreamy. There's a lot of dreamy Sam Elliott's here. Like, lots of people are in the... Jessica says it's a shit show. Even beyond that, it was disappointing. I was very put off with them trying to change or challenge Carrie's femininity. Oh, I didn't even know that. That's the part I didn't even know that they were doing.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either.
Lots of people... Cindy says I also felt like never good looking. Age has nothing to do with it. Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like Mick Jagger. He was just never my type.
No, I don't know. I think Mick Jagger has a thing. He has him and Steven Tyler have a sexiness thing. So I scared Saira away when I said him and Steven Tyler have a sexiness thing going on. Christy Brinkley also. I never thought Henry Winkler, he did not age well either. No, not at all. My mom was going through menopause when that episode aired, and I remember that she cried. Dude, that episode so I can't even remember when I first saw it. I must have been like 8, but it impacted me so strongly that she went through that. And I remember the doctor that she met who said you have chronic fatigue syndrome. And I remember everything. I have it tattooed to I remember every minute. It was actually a double episode. I remember It was the open season, one of the seasons with it. And I just remember being like, oh my God, that sucks. That's terrible. And I thought of my mom. And then I held that episode so close to me for so long in my life. Like I would literally just use it like a blanket to cuddle myself because
that show really, they talked about a lot of really stuff that back then was like taboo. You didn't talk about it. They weren't afraid to do it. They went there. And if you think about Blanche was like the original Samantha, right? And they just made it okay for people of any age to just be who they were and be feminine and enjoy going out and enjoying the company of, opposite sex, same sex, whatever. Right. But like, I feel like that show, like that episode, especially, like, I totally agree. Like I can see the doctor in my mind. He was in a lot of other shows too.
So many things. I think his name is Ken.
Yeah.
Here,
I'm not sure.
Keep talking. I'm going to look it up.
I'll have to but anyway, great episode. And I think that totally reminder that it is important to listen to your body. And if you feel like something is not right, take care of yourself. I honestly think my whole, chronic illness feeling has gotten way worse since I stopped walking. And I had this irrational fear of bears all of a sudden, like after I fell down. I remembered. Now, mind you,
fear of bears.
I still have it. Now, mind you, I've lived in Hollis for like, God knows how many years. I'm on a call, yeah. And you want my phone? We have bears all over Hollis. We've had them here forever since I've lived here, and I've been walking for like 5 years. So what the hell? All of a sudden I got like, I think it was because I was walking and I felt like something was watching me and I couldn't shake the feeling. And I got home and I said to Butch, I was like, I felt like I was being watched while I was out walking. I'm like, it was the weirdest thing. And then the next day there was a bear sighting where I was walking. And I think, and apparently that's what they do. They just watch from afar. Like they are very docile creatures. Anything. I know. But I was actually then a few days later reading an article about trusting your instincts. And one of them said, humans have a very primitive perception of being hunted. And like, it's something very ancient that's in our, it's just in our bodies. And they said that if you ever get a sense that someone is watching you, 99.9% of the time, you're right. And it was like the scariest thing. So I was like, oh my God, I think there was literally a bear like tracking me while I was walking. And I just was like, screw this. So Butch bought me some mace and I have some, but it's like, I haven't been able to shake them. And I walk with the headphones on, so I wouldn't even really hear anything. Anyway, so it kind of like
Saira, for the headphones, I want you to go. So there's at a Marathon Sports, I'll find the link for you. There are these amazing headphones. I've actually tried them and they are, I want to know who else has tried them. So they're headphones that they don't go inside your ear. They're the bone headphones, and you put them right here, and you can hear all the stuff that's outside of you. But Saira, it feels so loud. Like you don't believe it. You're like, it's got to be in my ear. But it's freaking amazing. Marathon Sports sells them. They have 2 different types that they found, and I tried them out. They work fantastic. I had them. I was in Plymouth right before the 5K that they were doing, so it was super. And everyone was in the store. Everyone was talking. Everyone was picking up their stuff. So it was super active. And it was amazing. I would do that because then you'll be able to hear the stuff around you, but also have your music be loud enough for you.
See,
guys, if you've tried the bone headphones or something, let her know. Like especially the ones from Marathon Sports, those were really good. That I'm actually thinking of getting those in general because my phone doesn't really connect to my Bluetooth super well. So I'm like,
are they called Shocks?
I mean, I don't know what they're called. The Sony over the headphones are bulky, but the ambient noise feature is that. Katie said, I've had the feeling on a walk and on my way home saw cougar prints in the sand. They're Shocks X trainers. They're called. Let me see. I want to see the picture to like make sure. Oh, I'll look here.
Open ear listening, waterproof bone conduction headphones. Allow you to listen to up to 1,200 songs. Oh, with no extra device. That's weird. And allows you to hear ambient noise while providing high fidelity audio.
Yeah, Aftershocks. Yep, that's who it is. It's Aftershocks.
But this sounds like it works. Like I don't know if it works like with another device. Does it, or do you have to put the music?
It does. Nobody's gonna buy something that doesn't work with another device. It will.
Oh, I want these. Oh, this is amazing.
Aren't these freaking amazing?
I have never. This is outrageous.
Seriously, science is crazy. Like science, guys, it's cool.
Dude, did you read about the pig heart transplant? Like, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Did you read about the cannabis and COVID?
No.
That cannabinoids actually, they think that they're still doing studies on it, but they think that it actually prevents you from actually like. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's like an immuno thing for COVID, so you're less likely to get it. I'm never getting COVID.
Yeah, right. It's like because no wonder
I'm so immune right now.
You're like I am protected. All right. Well, it's 10:45,
hold on.
and I have
to try those. Saira, are you gonna try them?
Yeah, I think I will.
All right, then you can let us know. Cindy says, I wonder if those bone ones would help my daughter-in-law who is deaf in her left ear. She had a tumor removed and had to they severed her auditory nerve on that side. You know what? That I have no idea, but I would be really curious about that.
Curious about what?
I'm curious to know if like those headphones allow you to hear the music. Like, could Cam wear them, right, and then be able to hear the music because it's coming from your bone, not from your ears. I have no idea.
She can hear. She has cochlear implants. She can hear.
Huh? Oh yeah, she has the implants now. Well, I mean, she got them like earlier on. I meant like or before she got them, because we knew her before she got them, and so my thought was before she got them, would it have helped her? Okay, so hold on. Oh my goodness. So Dawn says the day before I ended up in a hospital with a 3-hour ride in an ambulance to have surgery at 1 a.m., I told my husband to call the local hospital. I need to go to the ER. After telling the nurse on the other end of the phone my symptoms, according to her, I was dehydrated and to stay home and not come in. I knew that wasn't my problem and I let her know that. And turns out she had appendicitis. And
Oh my God.
listen to your body and be your own advocate. Do you remember the lollipop that played music, but only when you bite the lollipop? Did you
No.
ever have that? I've never even heard of a lollipop that bites.
I remember the dancing flower, but I don't remember that.
Oh my God, the dancing flower was so cool. Did you guys have it? We had a yellow dancing flower.
Yeah.
Jessica Hopkins' friend has a pig heart valve. Saved his life.
Oh, that's what Carol has. Carol has a pig heart valve.
That is amazing.
But this is different. This is a pig heart transplant. Like it's an entire heart from a pig that was put into a man it was under the Compassionate Care Act with the FDA, I think.
Oh, right. So where you can try something that hasn't been tried before, like because the guy's going to die. Yeah.
But they treated this heart with something. They knocked out 10 genes from the heart to prevent rejection. And anyway, apparently he's, knock on wood, so far still doing really well. Dude. And this would be like earth shattering if they could figure out how, because I mean, it would be like massive impact on transplant, because I mean, obviously to be able to have, organs like that. That's
Sarah's dad is working on a pacemaker the size of a dime that connects directly the heart for infants.
Wow.
How freaking cool is that? That is so cool.
So cool.
That is really cool. Like that is incredible. That's amazing. The thing
I have to run now though.
What?
It's 10:50. We do this for 45 minutes and I have another call.
Okay. So, okay. So, all right, guys. So just as a reminder, we do this every Thursday, and we do this because we're all business people. All of our friends are business people, and many of us get caught up in talking about business all the time, and we become one-topic people. Nobody wants to be a one-topic person. We don't enjoy it as Saira and I know you don't enjoy it either, because then you're on social media saying, I don't know what to talk about in my business, right? And it's because we're not enjoying our lives outside of business. So every Thursday, we're just going to come get on and talk about things that are relevant to us and you, and that help us to become better people, feel like better people, and whatnot. So we can hang out and just talk about something that is not business for like 1 hour out of the week.
If you have suggestions for things that you would like to hear us talk about, we'd love to hear them.
Oh, Katie, oh my God, you're amazing. Thank you. You guys, by the way, I forgot to say, you have, this is my worst sales pitch ever. You have 10 minutes to sign up for the Social Strategy Squad. I was like, what the fuck is the Social Strategy Squad? Guys.
And if you're in the squad, we have office hours today at 2 p.m.
At 2
Eastern.
p.m. Okay, so here's what you want to do. Saira Valley, brilliant strategist, who is probably going to have to lead. She's a brilliant strategist. She is going to be on a call today at 2 o'clock where you can bring any questions that you want about your business, and she will answer it for you and just tell you what to do. So, or help you workshop through your problem or whatever. So if you want that kind of coaching like today, sign up for the Social Strategy Squad. Go to socialstrategysquad.com and sign up, and then be there at 2 o'clock and just get your personal business coaching done, like right there with Saira. 2 p.m. Yes. Alrighty, guys, you are amazing.
Bye, folks.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Ta-ta. She just, look at me. I'm here again. She always leaves before I do that, and then I get to do this. Office hours is worth the price of membership. I did like the worst selling job today. I got so caught up in all of the illness stuff. That's okay. It's fine. We actually had a great sale yesterday. I'm super excited. We did a 24-hour flash sale. I doubled what I thought. I was like, I had a goal, doubled it like in the first couple hours. I'm like, okay, this is super excited. I'm thrilled, right? So it's been a great day, but I still want more of you to join just because it's super awesome and it's going to help your business like you would not even imagine. Check your email and sign up. Feel free to, oh no, I'm not clicking on that link, Sophia. And I'm going to leave, but I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have baby shark stuck in my head for like the rest of my life. There are 10 minutes left. You know what? There are 10 minutes left. If people want to talk and ask me questions about the Social Strategy Squad, we can do that. Let's do that. Hold on, I'm going to flip over here. All right, let's talk about, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. All right, well, it's clearly I'm all over the place. I am literally all over the place. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to hide the thing. We're just going to hide it, and that'll be enough. This is S&M overlay. Whoa. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so guys, we have about 23 people on here. Some of you are squad members. Some of you are not squad members. So I'm just going to tell you a little about the Social Strategy Squad, and then people who are in the squad can tell you all about their experience. So one of the things that many business owners struggle with is getting new customers and making money. So they know what they want to do. They're really, really good at their business. You've spent a couple of years learning from coaches, buying software, getting chatbots and email and posting on social media and learning about Facebook and doing 800 different things with your business to get going. What a lot of business owners find after the first few years is that they have a lot of stuff, they have a lot of things that they've learned, but their business isn't working and they can't figure out why. And it's that being in that place absolutely blows. It just sucks, right? So now, because you think that it's you, because if you're like, listen, I've got all this stuff, I paid for all these things, like, what do I need to do to make this work, right? I want to offer something to you right now. And that is that you have everything that you need already. You don't need to buy another piece of software. You don't need to learn, another social media platform. You don't need to move off onto YouTube or Instagram or something else just because nobody's seeing you on Facebook. What you actually need to do, and I found this with almost every person who comes to me, is make sure that the people who come to you at any point in time can get from, hi, I'm a stranger, to here's my credit card. They need to be able to walk that path. They need to be able to come to your site, your business page, your Instagram, whatever it is that you're using, and just get through the process. That's it. They just need to get through the process. If they can get through the process, then everything else will fall into place. 98% of business owners who come to me cannot get somebody through that process. They lose people at the very beginning. They lose people right after they get to their page. They lose people right at the post where they're showing them the product because they forget to tell them that they have a product to sell. They forget to ask for the purchase. They forget to engage with them. So they forget to do a lot of things. We've all done this. This is not something that I'm saying, well, everybody needs to know this and you should know this sprung fully formed from the womb. We don't. And so we have all the pieces, but they're not necessarily put in place into a path from stranger to shopper, right? So that's what you need. So what I did was I put together in the squad a system that will basically walk people, show you how to create that pathway. So that now you're just walking people from the, hi, I'm a stranger, all the way to checking out. And it happens automatically, right? And what's great is that because it happens automatically, now you're free to do so much more stuff in your life, right? Because if you're not spending all your time hurting people through your sales funnel, you can then actually sell things. You can actually bill people. You can actually do the stuff that makes you money. You can actually just not work and take a nap or cuddle or eat or, whatever. Do what, take some of that stuff that helps you not get COVID, right? Get your nectar collector and smoke some, whatever it is, right? You can do that because now you have the time, you have the freedom, and you don't feel like you're doing something wrong or bad. So what I did was I realized that we all had this problem. So I've put together the pathway and I've collected a group of experts for you in the group so that if you have questions, you have guidance as you go through. We've got Christy Don, who is our Facebook expert. We've got Saira Valley, who is our strategy expert. Amy Crean, who is our money mindset expert, and Katie Gunther, who is our email expert. And they're all there to help guide you through. Plus, you've got the bonus of having the people who've already gone through it and seen enormous success. So what happens is you come into the squad, you hang out, we say hi, we do this twice a week. I get live and we just talk and you ask questions. We also have office hours where you can come in and ask me or Saira just any question you want about your business and we will guide you through it. And we have something called Power Hours on Monday, which is incredibly effective to getting progress made in your business. And it's really designed to help you plow through some things that you're struggling with or that you're not entirely sure that what it is that, sorry, I lost something. If you're not entirely sure what you need to do, I started off by saying, what are you working on? You tell me. If not, I'll give you some ideas, and then you just plow through that for that hour. And it's basically made to punch through lots of small tasks, or if there's some project I use it for projects that I am avoiding because for some reason, like psychologically something, every time I go to do it, I'm like, oh, look, I gotta do my nails. I haven't done my nails in 6 years. No, it doesn't matter. I gotta do my nails right now. If there's something like that where I'm constantly finding reasons not to do it, I know that I want to do it in co-working hours because I need the support of the community to hold me accountable and be like, are you doing that thing? Like the other day, I needed to draw something. Are you doing that thing? Maybe you're not, right? You need that accountability. It is so, so important. Saira is I love this. I love all of these. You guys are amazing. So, okay. So the Social Strategy Squad is there to help move you through this path. And what it's going to do is one, you'll be able to get rid of a lot of the things you're already spending money on. So if you have things that are waste in your business or like gunk that's gumming up the works, you can totally get rid of it. And what happens then is now you feel like you don't have to do all the things. So the business that you dreamed of, like where you had the freedom and the time to do whatever you wanted, where you were making the money you wanted, all of the things that you're looking for are just right on the other side of the pathway that your customers have to walk. And if your customers can't walk that path, and here's what I want to recommend that you do right now. You have like 10 minutes or so, because I'm live, so I can't turn off the squad thing. Go to your own funnel. And I want you to see where people could fall off. Do people know who you are when they first come to your page? Do you have a link to check out on the post that that you have a picture of this great little, mug that you're selling? Is there a link to check out? Can somebody follow the pathway? Are you losing people, right? This is the area. Most people you're losing about 97.8% of people are bouncing from your page right before getting there. 97.8. They just get there, they see it, and they're gone in 3 seconds. That's it. And that is happening by default. That doesn't even matter who you are or what you're doing. That's just the statistic, right? Which means you are only trying to grab that remaining 2.2%. That's where you're trying to grab from, right? And you need to keep them for just a few more seconds. And most business owners aren't doing that. So the social strategy squad will help you both mechanistically in terms of figuring out exactly what you need to do, but also business perspective wise to help you reframe your approach to business so that it's not quite so I need to be doing all the things and more I just want to do the things that make me money, because I do not, here's my philosophy. I want you to know this is my philosophy. I do not want to work all the time to be a millionaire. I don't want you to work all the time to be a millionaire. Even if you don't want to be a millionaire, I just don't want you to have to work all the time to do this. I want to be that person who works 2 hours a week and says, I'm a millionaire and I made $1 million working 2 hours a week. Or, and I don't think you can actually make $1 million, but you can make a lot more money. I want to make all my money from barely working. And that's actually really how I've constructed my business and my life. I can offer that to you as well. The key is the intents and the conversations we have in the squad about it. Okay. Alrighty, let's see what we have. Oh my God, we have so many people who are chatting and commenting here. Oh my goodness. Who is adorable? Somebody said this is adorable. What is my favorite part of the squad for the OGs? Oh my God. Oh, I'm split in the middle. Oh my God, right. Collaborating with like-minded people has been pivotal. Oh my God. My favorite are the co-working hours and the office hours. Those are super. I really, really love those. I feel like those are like the power part. Like that's a real power thing that happens there. For Elisa, the irreplaceable part of the squad is the mindset that Manessa brings to every conversation. I call her my business therapist because she reframes things just like my favorite therapist, and always did in a way that I can see things clearly and have a resolution to lighten the load. Absolutely. I am a really big believer that therapy and coaching go hand in hand. So I have a therapist and I have a coach, right? And coaching is a really great way to reinforce the things that you learn in therapy. And I love that I can use those things to reframe business ideas, because a lot of us think of therapy as our personal stuff and then business is business, right? We don't ever consider putting those two things together. And for me, that's actually where my aha moment came 3 years ago, when I realized that, wait a minute, there's a huge component in here of like applying these systems to reinforce therapeutic practices. Alrighty. Okay. And you build business friends. You do build business friends. You know what I found out today is that we have a couple of people in the squad who've banded together and created these power groups. And what they're doing is they're basically watching a 15-minute video, sitting together, and then talking about what they learn and applying it, and then workshopping together, checking each other's work, and then going back. These little study groups that are forming is ridiculously cool. So if you're in the squad right now, find a bestie, find a business bestie. Like, I'm hearing how well this is working for people, and I think this is a really, really, I may actually institute it at some point because I think it's so amazing. Alrighty. Knowing and feeling that you aren't alone in all the things you feel. Oh my God. That is such a big one. I made the squad because I was tired of feeling alone in my business and I wanted friends. No lie. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I started it, but that was one of them, right? Because there was no community doing what I wanted. And I was like, fine, then I'll just make my own, right? And I want to invite you to this community. So the social strategy squad is, in my opinion, which is completely biased, but it doesn't matter, one of the most critical places you can hang out in if you want to simply create a healthy business practice. You will learn how to create habits in your business that will slowly plant more and more seeds that will constantly pay as you grow your business, so that when you're 2 or 3 years down the line, the worries and concerns that you have aren't about money or about finding customers. It's more about, do I want to fire this customer? Do I like what this is? How do I want You're more thinking about things to optimize your life rather than thinking about ways to sustain your life, right? And that's really the key. I want my clients to feel like the work that they're doing in their jobs is optimizing their life and making everything better, not that they are doing the work at this moment because they feel like it, without it, like you can't sustain. Oh my God, I have to do this, right? And I help people move from that place where you're just surviving to where your business is actually thriving. I actually don't like saying that term because I feel like everybody says it, but that's the truth. That is what happens. Okay. All right, guys, I am going to head out now. I'm going to go eat again. Going to eat again. And then I am going to hang out with the team for our actual big squad launch in April. I am really excited. Our team is getting so big, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys next week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. for our podcast, Stop Shitting All Over Yourself. See you then.